pepper. They get white when they get tall and mature. So these weeds are what I weeded out all along this wild patch in my yard. So it was watered this morning, otherwise you would see the blue flowers more. Happy Thursday. Want to just share a little bit on wildflowers. These are called desert blue bells, and I will show you a better snap when they are in full bloom. This morning I watered maybe an hour ago, and as you can see, there's this patch here. Okay, so what happened was we had a burn a while back, and there was this patch, and so I was going to burn more into it to get it down and that it would be evened out with the other grass. So this year I decided, because the soil seemed decent, to add seeds, the watermelons, and then I added cantaloupe, I believe, like last week. So I'm learning just to go with nature and work the plants that way. Here's a prime example, and we're looking at, I would say, 5 months on this growth. Okay, just from seeds. And some of the seeds I've planted were from actual watermelon that we ate, and they weren't bought. So you know how it is in construction. They bulldoze everything, then they plant the trees, you know, and then make the cutter houses usually in a development. Well, I'm just letting you know that here it's like it's the opposite take, to just bring in what you have in nature that's permaculture and work with it. And you're not necessarily going against the grain, but you're just using the resources you have. So yes, you can save time and money that way, and it's native. So of course the upside is all the pollinating critters are used to this plant, the desert blue bell. And there's, I think, like 40 varieties or something. So what I did around this, okay, is these are pepper plants, and I picked them out all along this patch, like small ones, bigger ones, and yeah, it was tedious, but maybe, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, if that. And it seems like this is kind of like a natural mulch already. And there's a pepper plant, and they get pretty tall. They can get like this tall. But as you can see, I mean, you can go as extensive as you want to add mulch to it, which I may do eventually. But look how nice this took over, this patch. And I'll show you some of the other patches I have. I'll put the photos. So that's about it. I wanted to talk about just the whole idea of the permaculture and watering. I went to a nursery, and this was years back, asked about watering, and he said one of the top problems is that people tend to over water. And he gave me a really great tip. Not that I have the greenest thumb, because yeah, like everybody, we don't keep up the plants or water right or whatever, maintain it properly. But this is what he said. He said what you typically want to do is you'll water twice a day when you plant, and you know, cool weather in the morning, and then also at night is ideal when it's cooled off. Then you will want to water like that for 3-4 days or even a week. After that, you go once a day, maybe a few days, then once every few days. Okay, So, but then, yeah, when you'll see when it's established. I mean, obviously, if we're getting rain and it's cooler weather, that might be a little different, or in the winter, but typically that's what you do, and let it dry out a little, and then you water again, a good soak. The plants like a good soak versus quick sprinklings, you know. So I learned that helped. And the other tips I've learned about watering was the worst thing you can do, like let's say for a tree, is you water it so consistently. I'm talking same day each week or days, almost the same time, because then that tree gets acclimated to the exact day and time you're watering. In nature, they don't go through that. It's more sporadic, you know, so they have to acclimate to when they get watered, which gives them stronger roots. It gives them just, you know, a fight, pretty much. So that's something else. Of course, we don't want to kill our trees and plants. And so from this, you know, this is just a project I decided to take on. This year is spur of the moment. I didn't get any idea from other people, nothing. But you will want to manage, and even around it, say, this pepper plant. They're very invasive. But I had a neighbor, he was older, he told me they actually taste like pepper and you can eat them. So, anyway, that's about it. And as far as even wildlife and wildlife flowers, I don't believe it's 100% wildlife if you want to get some weeds out, because the weeds can take over into wildlife, and I've experienced seeing it and working in that. So there's sometimes that can even actually be more maintenance, I think, than if you just grew a set of plants or crops your way from the start, and then you don't have native weeds taking over into it really from the get-go, as in a wildlife or wildflower patches. They will take over, and what's already there will invade. So happy plantings. Just start where you can. In Texas, that's where I am, and we know that there's almost too much sun in the summer. Being from Jersey, I love the heat, and I can't take the winters like in Jersey. When I've gone to visit, is years back. But what I'm saying is, as far as the plants go, that yeah, I mean, we got to do what we can with our climate. And but back on Texas, really, you can grow so much in shade, like the tomatoes. They really should be growing in shade, because the heat and the sun, direct sun, is almost too intensive for tomatoes here in Texas. So I kind of learned that the hard way. But this is easy maintenance. I mean, this, back to what we did here on this patch. These desert bluebells don't need a whole lot of water. Maybe what I'm doing in the last 2 weeks is watering them. We didn't have much rain this week, so I watered it, like, this is the third day now. So every 3-4 days, if you want to give a little sprinkle around the desert bluebells. So I'm kind of a nature girl. I like the idea of permaculture for the yard. Would love to see it promoted more for people. When you mention the word permaculture, people have no clue. They don't know what it is. In time, people will, because we're getting forced to grow our own food almost. We're getting forced to sustain land better, you know, because we are running out of land. So Anyway, I hope you can take on some projects kind of naturally in your yard. And what I'm going to show you right now is another patch that I did with the watermelons and some more cantaloupes. I put green beans into it, but they haven't grown yet. I think that was like a month ago I planted them. So follow me. Oh wow, I just noticed a little guy there. It looks like it came off during the watering. I've got baby pumpkin, the regular pumpkin, I think butternut squash, right there. What else? Watermelons, and zucchini. Maybe that's zucchini. No, that's not zucchini. So this was watered an hour ago also, this patch. And these are, I'll list what flowers these are. Wildflowers. And this is the first time these wildflowers have grown this close. I have it in another section. But I decided, it was actually raining right before storm. I decided to plant these into it, and I weeded out the peppers. So these kind of grasses I'll pluck out of this wild patch. This had been a burn pile before, and there's a lot of peppers also. See the peppers? Okay, right here. I take, not flowers, excuse me, weeds. Okay. So you take these out. There's another pepper plant. And this again is about a month and a half, I believe.